What is your name?
My name is Jonell, and I am a triple negative breast cancer survivor and thriver. I was 34 years old at the age of diagnosis. You want me to? My lump was detected in the shower through self-exam.
What stage was the breast cancer at the time of diagnosis?
At the time of diagnosis, I was staged at 1A. I have a family history of breast cancer. My mom was diagnosed with breast cancer at the age of 36 back in the year 2000. Unfortunately, she did succumb to the cancer in 2014 after a lengthy battle with invasive ductal carcinoma as well as inflammatory breast cancer as a recurrence. I had no symptoms at all beyond the lump. It was just a mere touch of the left side of my breast where I realized there was something there that shouldn't have been there, and I immediately got it checked. I underwent 16 rounds of chemotherapy, 17 rounds of immunotherapy, and I had a double mastectomy with immediate reconstruction. One thing I would want anyone to know about early detection is that it is definitely key. Early detection saved my life. I truly feel that if there is anything that you see or feel that does not feel right, get it checked. Ultimately, when I first found my lump, I knew what it was. I tried to talk myself out of it. I tried to pray myself out of it, but deep down, I had a gut feeling of knowing what it was, just not necessarily knowing what the journey would be. When the doctors confirmed it, I felt a sigh of relief because at that point I knew that my intuition was real and that I needed to go into battle. So that is truly what I felt at the first point of receiving my diagnosis. Of course, we're always going to feel a little bit of fear, but ultimately I knew that there was a battle that was in need of being fought and I was ready. My diagnosis impacted my daily life tremendously. As a mother, that was originally my first thought of how can I get through this day by day, all while maintaining my same schedule, my same routine with raising my daughter. Ultimately, I knew it was something that needed to be done. However, I am very, very, very independent. And so to know that I would have to lean so strongly on my support system and become dependent on them for so many things really took a toll on me. So ultimately, emotionally and mentally, I think that that is what played the biggest part. Physically, I can get through this battle, but mentally and emotionally needing to ask for help, that really, really got to me. My mother, my mother's memory, my mother's spirit gave me the strength that I needed to get.
What gave you strength during treatment?
My mother and my daughter. Ultimately, my mom battled so bravely for so long. I was able to bear witness to her in her fight and just to see how strong and determined and resilient she was. So ultimately going through treatment, I knew that I had to make her proud. I am a product of her, and just to know that I needed to make her proud in those moments, but my daughter as well, because I realized that the same energy that I used watching my mom go through battle is what my daughter was doing with me. So I needed to make sure that I was living for her, that I was surviving for her, and doing everything that I possibly could to be the role model and hero that I hope that she continues to look up to. I created my own. Defeat is not an option.
Damn.
That's it. Defeat is not an option. The days may get tough, the times may get hard, I may be weak, I may be sick, but ultimately defeat will never. I created my own. Defeat is not an option.
Damn.
That's it. Defeat is not an option. I think cancer and cancer treatment changed me completely. I know who I am. I know whose I am. but ultimately the person that I was physically, the person that I was spiritually, the person that I was mentally, the person that I was emotionally, I know who I am, I know whose I am, but ultimately the person that I was physically, the person that I was spiritually, the person that I was mentally, the person that I was emotionally, I feel like has all grown over time, having to become one with a body that I have to relearn, and really having my faith questioned and having to relearn how to find myself spiritually and ground myself emotionally and mentally. I feel that overall this experience has just given me a new leash on life. It just looks a lot different than what it used to do. The journey through breast cancer has taught me that life will always throw curveballs. However, as long as we are willing to grab that ball and continue with the game, it will always be a beautiful thing. I love life. I love experiencing life. I love everything that comes with life. So overall, I am blessed and highly favored to be here. Do not fear. This is only a test. This is only a season. Do not let your heart be burdened. Do not fear the journey. It is a journey, but ultimately you can get through this. Okay. And lean on your support system. It is so important. If you have a support system, lean on them. If you don't have a support system, create one. There are so many organizations, there are so many mentors, there are so many nurse navigators, physicians that are out here to help us get through this journey. You are never alone. You are never, ever alone. People think that breast cancer is just one lump and one diagnosis. There are several different subtypes of breast cancer. There are breast cancer recurrences. There are so many different things that people are unaware of that we are continuing to try to push forward. I am a patient advocate, so standing in front of anyone that I can to educate them about this particular disease from a patient's point of view is always so important, just to realize that it is not just one lump and it is not just one diagnosis. It's so much more. It's coming off the top of my head. And I'm sitting there thinking about chicken.
Blooper.
Oh!
Thinking about chicken.
Oh my God. Woo!
That's a good blooper.
Sorry, cut.
What message do you have about self-exams, mammograms, or advocating for your own health?
We always hear that we should start receiving mammograms at the age of 40.
What message do you have about self-exams?
It's so important for us to advocate for our own health. It's so important for us to advocate. If we see something, if we feel something, it is so important to get checked, get scanned. Always make sure you know your family history. That's so important. Learn your family history, because ultimately you are in charge of how your body.
If it ain't one, it's the other.
Friends and family can best support someone going through treatment by just being a listening ear. Coming from someone that has gone through the journey and has gone through the battle, it is so hard for us to just simply ask for help. So just to be a listening ear, just to be a shoulder for them to lean on, a shoulder for them to cry on, it means so, so much. I have a word of encouragement. I oftentimes say that when I am doing interviews or advocating, I'm speaking from my own personal experience. However, it's so important for people to know that I have friends and loved ones that don't necessarily get this opportunity to tell their stories because of this disease taking them so soon. So I stand on the shoulders of so many beautiful warriors that have gone through this fight that may not be here in a physical sense, but they are still here to help guide me throughout the way, as well as their loved ones and friends. So it's so important for me to acknowledge them, and it's so important for me to say how much I love them and I've appreciated their presence, and to know that we will continue to carry their legacies on for as many